Everyone, welcome into Around the Felt, episode 44, the Week 17 recap. Reagan, it's been a one-week hiatus. I can't believe I'm saying this. I missed you. That's crazy to me. I actually missed you and your nagging self for once.
Thank you. That was nice of you to miss me. I guess I could say the same for you. I enjoyed winning not one, not two, not three, but 4 fantasy championships.
That is insanely impressive.
One of them is in a league with a lot of members from this podcast, actually, so I'm very excited to get that belt. Once I get that, I think it'll be time to unveil you. I actually sent you a Venmo today, which was from my plaque, right?
Yeah, so I just ordered Reagan's championship plaque. We have a belt, so that goes on. You're the second champion of CFFL. Congrats on that, sir. Your team balled out this week. No Mickey Mouse ring over here. His team hung 192
no,
on championship
196.
Weekend. My apologies.
Third most points all time in a matchup, so dominating.
Brotherly championship.
If we're talking about, and you beat Big G, Mr. Graphic Designer, did a phenomenal job in this graphic, by the way.
I had to spank little bro.
And if we're going to talk about our chips, I myself won one this weekend.
Yeah, all right.
The Kattegat League, Walmart and Have, 2 big listeners around the felt. I am the champ. King Ragnar, I am the champ. It feels really good. I got the big-ass trophy right next to me.
King Ragnar?
From Vikings. You ever seen Vikings?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Uncultured swine.
What about all the listeners out there? They have a bunch of swine
Go check out Vikings. Ragnar Lothbrok is the most badass character in anything ever, but I digress, Reagan. Let's get into the news, man. David Tepper, owner of the Panthers, fined $300K for conduct towards a fan. I don't know if you saw the video.
It's kind of hilarious.
It is kind of funny. Some fan was talking shit.
Yeah, well,
and Tepper's up in his box, and he takes his drink and flings it out and hits a fan in the face.
It's kind of worth it. Like, you getting in a fight, you're a big rich guy, like, just throw it in his face. Oh, what's $300,000?
Yeah, his net worth is over $20 billion, so that's like finding me or you $1.
Yeah,
it was $1.74 exactly. That's what it was.
The average American, $1.74.
Okay, so if I had to pay $1.74 to dump a drink on any of you guys, I'd pay that. So yeah, why not then?
I'd do it.
Yeah,
but you could tell it's definitely a very frustrated fan base in Carolina right now.
What? Oh, yeah, you can walk behind.
Sorry, I just need something out of the fridge.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I need a sign. The next thing is filming online or something like that. Who's closest to the fridge? I'm not crawling under the table. Broccoli, please. Take one, pass it down. Sorry, boys.
No worries.
All right, so breaking news, I'm having broccoli for dinner.
somehow I live here, and I still have to
Tiptoe around.
Because Reagan hasn't hired me as
Pass
chef.
the broccoli.
Sponsored by broccoli.
Thank you. Hey, green vegetables
Yeah.
good for you boys.
Healthy dinner.
Take one, pass it down. All right, I'm out.
All right.
Bye, guys. Sorry.
See ya.
It's okay, no worries.
Alright, now go.
Well, Reagan, now that I know what you're having for dinner, let's continue with the news. Dalvin Cook and the Jets mutually part ways. Reagan, everyone knows, it never worked out with Cook in New York. Part of it was the offensive line. I'm sure their game plan was to roll out Cook and give him the big workload before Brees was ready, but Brees looked readier. He looked more ready earlier than expected.
Yeah.
So Cook didn't really have a role the entire season.
He looked cooked, no pun intended.
He looked cooked.
He
What do you think
did,
about
dude.
this, and do you think a team picks him up for the playoff run?
I think somebody could scoop, but I don't, like, as a Jet fan, I'm fine with it because he, like, said, like, I don't need all the guaranteed and stuff, so we basically cut ties. It's a little weird because it's the last week of the season, but I think there was some, like, flirting going on with other teams because you don't just, like, ask to be cut when there's 1 week left in the season unless you plan on signing with a team. So it's definitely some fishy stuff going on there.
Yeah, I saw Josina Anderson mention 2 teams that would have interest, but it would require him joining the practice squad first, and that's the Ravens and the Cowboys.
Okay. Cowboys, I think, is more likely because, honestly, I don't think he's better than what the Ravens have right now. I like their 1-2 punch in Justice Hill and Gus Edwards, but he might bring something that the Cowboys are missing, a more physical runner, which they don't currently really have. I mean, Dowdle can get physical, but Pollard doesn't seem like what he was last year.
No, he does not.
Obviously Deuce Vaughn is not the most big back in the world, only 5'5" or 5'6".
Yeah, I think he's 5'6".
Short king right there, but it's all right.
I mean, the Ravens are the kings of bringing in old running backs past their prime and
Melvin
just stashing
Gordon's
them
still
all
on the roster too.
I mean,
I don't know if I wouldn't say Dalvin Cook's even better than him. I'd say they're the same tier. So what's the point of bringing on Dalvin
I would say
Cook?
Dalvin still has more juice in the tank than Melvin at this point in their careers.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, maybe if he goes to the Ravens, he'll look like he has juice. He's also on the Jets.
Yeah,
So,
we will see, my
with
friend.
new offensive line.
Christian McCaffrey suffered a mild calf strain Now, he's going to sit out this week. Niners don't have to worry.
Yeah.
Looks like they should have the bye. If they take care of business, they'll be fine. So he could have 3 weeks to rest. Reagan, are you concerned with McCaffrey coming back in the divisional
No,
round?
he'll be fine. I mean, dude, he's got 2 weeks now to rest. I think he'll be more than okay.
It just concerns me because Burrows was a calf strain and like he aggravated it and it got worse and you could tell he wasn't right for like 4 to 6 weeks. So that's my only concern is like with the cuts that McCaffrey has to make. But he does have a couple weeks off. I'm sure he'll be fine. But
Yeah, I'm
something
not
to monitor.
worried. But yeah, definitely something to monitor. We'll see in 2 weeks. We can revisit this one.
Bradley Chubb, torn ACL. Man, brutal
Yeah.
blow for that Dolphins defense. They already lost Jalen Phillips for the season earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, because they had those two guys opposite each other. It's a
Yeah.
phenomenal pass
Well,
rushing
the Dolphins
tandem.
defense, I mean, they got lit up. We can get more into that later, but they got some issues now.
They absolutely
I
have
do
issues.
not have I didn't have confidence already in this team, but now I have like no confidence.
I mean, we got to talk about that Bills matchup this week because the Bills have been
Yeah.
hot. But, that's for tomorrow's pod.
That is
We'll
for
save it.
tomorrow's
We'll
pod.
save it. But definitely a tough loss for that defense. Finally, the Steelers decide to start Rudolph this weekend over a healthy Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, it's
surprising.
Not no, not at all. They've won the past 2 games, and Rudolph's looked better than Pickett's looked in his career, let alone this season. Pickett hasn't looked good at all. So, or I shouldn't say he hasn't looked good. But he's shown some flashes, but not like you got to start him. Like I definitely think they move on in the offseason, unless Mason Rudolph gets him in the playoffs and then shows out and somehow is a starter going into next year. But
There's
he
no
gets like
shot
a
that happens.
and gets like a Geno-esque type deal. But
I mean,
we'll
he'd
see.
have to lead them on a deep playoff run for that to happen. I mean, the
Yeah.
Steelers sit at 9-7. They've won their past 2, so Mike Tomlin clinches his 17th consecutive winning season. Mike Tomlin, congrats. You're still overrated in my book, but it's all right. But yeah, I agree. You got to roll with Mason Rudolph in this one.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not a believer in Kenny Pickett long term whatsoever. All right, that wraps up the news. Joe, what do we got for questions?
All right. Start us off with Austin.
Austin.
Hey, Oster.
Every damn time.
Who is going to win, Washington or Michigan?
What sucks is I picked Bama in Texas, so
Oh yeah, yeah. Why don't we just
We
first
gotta
off?
talk about this.
Yeah, we got a highlight. So, for those of you who listen all the time, maybe been checking it out on Instagram, we decided to do a 4-way punishment where I was backing Washington, Colin was backing Texas. Goodbye. Dave was backing Bama. Goodbye. And Joe was backing Michigan, so me and him are still alive.
Let's go.
Where the one winner will get to play red light, green light with a paintball gun, while the 3 losers have to run through a field. We'll figure out more of the details, but basically you just get to open fire on them with a paintball gun. So
gonna
I'm
be
hoping
good.
it's Joe hasn't done any punishments, so if you want to just like say, yeah, I'll hop in and do a punishment, then I'm fine taking the paintball gun. You want to cash out?
No, my Wolverines, they're going to roll.
Your Wolverines are gonna roll. I don't know. My Huskies looked good too, but
they both look really good. I'm not going to lie. It's an interesting matchup because now Washington's moving to the Big Ten next year, and
Yeah.
they actually play each other next year. So there will be a championship rematch next year, which is pretty cool. We don't really get to see that very often. Man, I took Texas because I've rooted for Texas since I was a kid, but
so it was a homer pick.
I mean, it was partly, but Washington's been they've been my boys all year. I've been
Clearly
riding
not.
Washington,
Clearly not.
Michael Penix,
Megan just
Romo
stole them from me.
Romo
Yeah, what?
Dunze's my boy, like.
yeah, I don't usually kick my boys to the curb.
I haven't
but-
watched any more games than Washington this year. I saw they opened as a 4.5-point dog, I believe, which is
Yes.
tempting. If it's still 4.5, I am going to take the
Wow.
4.5 on Washington. Although I do think Michigan wins, but that offense is so high powered. Also, what Michigan's going to do is run the ball down their throat. And that Washington defense isn't elite. It's their passing attack. And that Michigan defense did really well against Bama. I mean, Milrow only threw for, 110 yards, 115 yards?
Yeah, but wouldn't you say that Washington's passing attack is better than Bama's?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm just saying, Michigan they do have an elite defense, and they're going to run the ball and control the clock, and McCarthy's going to make plays when he needs to. I do think Michigan wins, but I'm riding with the Huskies. I'm going to take Washington plus 4.5.
Great news for me because the 1 week you fade them, they win, they're coming back for you. They're just going to slap you in the face for doubting them on that.
I sure hope not.
Yeah.
How about this pre-Big Ten versus SEC playoff we got there, though? I mean, with Washington moving over next year.
Yeah, that's what he
Texas
was-
going to the SEC.
Yeah, both Big Ten teams won
Hey, Big Ten rolls, huh?
this year.
Come on,
This
we
year.
roll.
Let's not talk about the past 2
Wait
decades.
till they play some. They haven't played no NJAC teams yet, huh?
No, they haven't played those damn Red Hawks or those Lions.
Yeah, come on now. Once they play real comp, then we'll talk about it. But yeah, you want to talk about the games a little bit? I mean, this does segue well into that. We could recap those games since it's on the graphic.
Yeah, I mean, that Bama-Michigan game was phenomenal. It was very sloppy, though. I mean, when McCarthy threw that pick on the first play, I was like, wow. And then they got bailed out.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, I mean, they didn't get bailed out.
It wasn't a pick. Yeah.
It is a penalty.
Yeah. Well, no, it's because his foot was...
His foot was out.
Yeah.
But or I guess not a penalty, but it's not. Yeah, you can't come back in.
I thought Bama was going to hold on. I don't know. I mean, people were bashing the play call, and what it looked like to me was Milroe was supposed to throw it to the flat, like his back was going out there on a swing route, and it looked like they had the numbers, but the snap was low, and the snapping was terrible.
The snapping was
terrible. And then it looks like he just panicked and just ran, and there was just nothing.
I think the call actually was he was supposed to. It was a low snap, but he was supposed to cut. He was supposed to go up and cut left. Like if you like cut in between, like underneath
that
the
play
end.
got blown up.
It was.
That
open
wasn't
there.
there. That was not open.
Nothing was.
But if you
there.
look,
That was not open.
The end comes up. If he had a clean snap.
No, because that
everyone
collapses so
knew that they were
quickly.
gonna
Like
cut
even
out.
Kerryon Johnson
It
was
was,
like that was not open. Like that there's an overhang that's just unblocked standing there. He's gonna jump out and tackle
I
him.
really thought Bama was going to win after that missed field goal.
Me too.
I thought that was a huge
well,
momentum shift.
and the punt drop too with that son.
Yeah,
the
that
Pasadena
was-
son.
I thought the game was over. I thought they
yeah.
got him in the end zone. It was done.
Yeah, and that wasn't even he dropped it earlier
Yeah,
too.
exactly. It
So
was crazy.
I don't know. That game was wild, and then the Washington Texas game that was crazy because it came down to the wire. I mean, I don't
Which you
know.
shouldn't have.
Which I was thinking about it. Like to me, it's dumb that if you have a guy that gets injured, you're forced to take the timeout, like, and use it and stop the clock. Like, couldn't they just be like, yeah, it's an injury timeout, but we're gonna still let the clock run off? Like, they're getting penalized because their guy is hurt.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want them to do? Like, drag a kid? Like, because these are kids still, you know, they're like 20-year-old kids. Some like Bo Nix 23 or whatever. But you really want them to drag them off? Like, I thought that was kind of dumb that they got penalized, and it didn't help that the long snapper, I guess Charlie Eberle should have his job if that's what he's gonna do, but ran in and got a dumb penalty, and then Texas almost goes down, and then Quinn Ewers can't step up and complete any passes once they get to the 15. But I don't know. I just thought that was kind of dumb that they had to take the timeout still. And you gave Texas a chance, all because your guy got hurt. And I heard some people are like, oh, they should have dragged them off. And, I mean, yeah, I guess they should have because they almost lost the game because of it. I would have felt bad if they lost that game too, dude. Think about being that kid.
No,
like,
absolutely.
You're injured and physically can't walk off the field, and then like you almost lost your team the game.
Yeah, and
Well,
if you're
you know.
dragging, you don't know how serious the injury is. You can't just like, what if he's got like a neck injury or something?
Exactly. So I think that's a rule that definitely needs to be tweaked. But outside of that, I thought the game was good. Penix definitely looked to fit the part. I'd imagine that kind of upped his draft stock a little bit. I mean, he's already high up there, but a game like that definitely helps you move up a bunch of people's big boards.
That was my biggest takeaway was Penix and his performance because
Yeah.
he was kind of teetering like probably a round 2 pick, but the arm talent that he has is just insane.
Yeah.
Like the ball placement on the deep throws to O'Dunes they were stupid, man. Like in a breadbasket. His arm strength is ridiculous as well. I mean, clearly the biggest concern with him is he's had 2 major knee injuries. That's probably what teams are going to look at, but I think after that performance, and if he follows it up and wins a title and goes out there and does the same thing against Michigan, like he could push towards top 10. I kind of think there's a sweet spot for him in the middle of the first, like a team like the Vikings or the Falcons or something like
I can
that.
see the Vikings.
I think even my Jets could take a chance on him. I mean,
Potential. I just think it's highly unlikely the Jets take a quarterback considering you're all in with Aaron Rodgers. Like, don't do what the Packers did and take Jordan Love. Like, actually get him a weapon.
Yeah,
it's never
that's
happened. Get him a weapon or get him help on the line.
Maybe the Jets are going to back Jimmy Kimmel because he's running his mouth at them. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Yeah.
He's going to sue Aaron Rodgers.
That's a
Jimmy
whole.
Kimmel come out hard for being liberal.
Yeah.
That's a whole another
Hey,
conversation for another day.
Jimmy, don't talk about my boy Aaron like that. Back
It's
off,
funny.
buddy.
Yeah, but he threatened to sue him.
Hey, and
He
Penix,
is suing him, I thought.
No,
He's
he
threatening
said
to
if you
sue
keep
him.
going.
Aaron Rodgers spends a lot of time on the internet.
so soft. Suing someone like that's just so soft. Like, oh, you're talking bad about me, so my answer is suing you.
Well, Kimmel's been talking bad about Rodgers for years, so
That's what I'm saying.
It's
So that's-
ironic.
Exactly.
It's ironic.
So soft. It's especially a quote unquote comedian or whatever he's supposed to be, or talk show host.
It's not
like,
very funny at all.
that's just the softest thing I've ever heard. You're talking bad at me, so I'm going to sue you.
He's trying to be funny on his show. What did Rogers say? That he was like on like the Epstein list or something like that?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was on the
said.
associate Epstein list or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next, Joe?
Did the College Football Selection Committee make a mistake with the playoffs?
No.
No, those games were phenomenal, man.
Like, Georgia-
I think Florida State would have gotten their ass kicked.
Exactly.
Like, Georgia may be a top 4 team, but, like, you couldn't have put them in. And like you said, Florida State, granted, they had all those opt-outs, but I don't think they would have beat any of those teams. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they could have kept it close with, like, a Bama or Texas or Washington, but I feel like
Michigan
No.
would have killed them.
yeah, I don't know. I just really can't see them even, like, hanging with any of those teams.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point about Georgia. Like, they're clearly one of the top 4 teams, like, as a team, but you can't put them in considering they lost to
Yeah.
Bama. They didn't
And
have a
Texas
conference
beat Bama,
title.
yeah.
So, I mean, every other team had a conference title.
Yep.
It's tough, but Georgia, man, they're fucking good. They'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
back next year.
Can't wait for next year with the top 12 or 12 teams making it. It's going to
gonna
be
be
cool.
fun.
Although I don't know if
gonna
I'm
be
excited
fun.
about that at-large bid after seeing Oregon dismantle Liberty. So
Yeah.
Yeah. What round will CJ Stroud be drafted in redraft leagues next year in fantasy?
hard to say, but I would imagine he'll probably end
7?
up being like
6?
Yeah, I think just the hype alone, like he'll probably end up being
You don't take
drafted
quarterbacks
as
very
a.
high, so.
I would say he'll be drafted as a top 5 fantasy quarterback next year, just off the hype. I would imagine.
You think top 5?
Dude, I think he's going to get
Probably
a
top 5.
ton of
I can
hype
see
going in.
that.
I think it's safe to say he'll be the highest bet MVP ticket going
I
into
think
next
they're gonna
season.
get a
That's
weapon,
fine,
so
but I
if
still
they
wouldn't
get,
take
like,
him
a
top
good
5.
receiver or something, like a couple more weapons on that team, build up the O-line, like people are going to be hyping him up big time.
Yeah, so I think to answer your question, Austin, I do think like he will go very high, but it really depends on your league also, because I'm in leagues where like I'll see people draft quarterbacks in like the first 2 rounds, and then I'm in leagues where like nobody drafts quarterbacks, so it pushes it back. But I'd say I really do think he'll go top 5, and mainly because of the hype. So I think you can get value on other guys by waiting and not buying into the hype.
I don't know. I'd rather take, like, Justin Herbert, Mahomes,
And that's what I'm saying. Well,
Jalen Hurts,
Jalen Hurts will definitely go
Josh
over him.
Allen,
Yeah.
And so will Josh Allen because they have the rushing
Lamar.
upside.
Lamar.
And
That's
yeah.
5.
But I'm not-
Fields.
I wouldn't take Herbert over him.
Yeah, I don't.
I'd
There's a
definitely
lot.
take Herbert over him.
I
Herbert's
don't.
trash in fantasy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a like.
No, he's
but-
not.
Look at his numbers, like the past 2 seasons, especially towards the end of the year, he falls off.
I will pull up the stats because he was a top 5 quarterback before he got hurt this year. So because he was my quarterback, I know it was a fact.
He's
So you
not
can.
awesome.
Anyway, so you could debate a few guys, but honestly, I'm not really sure what's going to happen either way. But I think Stroud will be drafted high to answer your question.
All right, next we got Sean Mullen.
What do we got, Mo?
Does Lamar have the MVP locked in? If not, who do you think will win it if Lamar doesn't?
I'd say he's a lock. So I know that's why you're asking it as a Ravens fan. You just wanna hear that your guy's the MVP, and yes, he is. Colin, great call. I think the only way there was
What
a
about
chance.
Brock? Sorry to interrupt. Brock was in it too.
Okay, just because you bet it doesn't mean you came out here on a limb during the first podcast ever and said Lamar's going to win MVP.
Also, I don't remember seeing any questions saying Lamar MVP ? I do remember you saying Bears over 7.5, which that'll be interesting this week.
Hopefully that's a question.
But yeah, no, I got to give you credit. That was a good call on your part.
Thanks, boss. I
Yeah.
feel really good about that one.
I will say though, like this is such a weird year for the MVP because like Lamar's gonna win it, but his stats really aren't that crazy when you look at it.
You want to know a big
They
reason
don't even
why?
compare to his MVP season.
No. But a big reason why is Gus the freaking Bus just hawking touchdowns. How many times did Gus the Bus punch it in within 5 yards?
Well,
If those touchdowns go to Lamar, they throw it or he runs more in. He's got close to 50 touchdowns.
Well, and I agree. That's a great point. On top of that, the fact that their defense is elite, and the fact that honestly, he hasn't had to do a ton this year. Like that season, they had a lot. Like his supporting cast wasn't as good. He ran a lot more, although he did have the most passing yards in his career. But that also could be different play calling and stuff.
Yes. I
So-
mean, the offensive scheme with Todd Monken definitely improved this year from years past.
Yeah.
And like you said, with the supporting cast around him, specifically defensively, they blew a lot of teams out. Like he didn't really have to stay in a lot of games, and they got to the point where in the second half they could run the football. So to get to that point, though, it was on Lamar. Like Lamar was the best player in the field almost every Sunday this year for his team. It was phenomenal. Pumped that he won MVP, and it's a lock.
Jared Crampton asks, thoughts on the hip drop tackle?
The hip drop.
Cran man.
Hip drop.
The hip drop, if they
I'd like
actually
hear
want to
your
ban
thoughts,
it,
Cran man.
if they want to ban that, like, how do you expect guys to make plays now, like, defensively? Like, I understand protecting the head. Like, the hip drop sucks, but there's hip drops that guys don't get hurt. If you land on them, it sucks. But I think it's just part of the game. Like, how else do you want them to tackle?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any exact way to prevent it. They already tell these guys that, like you're saying, to do so much. So, I mean, they could enforce it and like tell guys like to consider it, and then like if it's like so preventable and it happens, maybe throw a flag. But I don't know. I just don't think there's a way around it with everything else they're trying to get these defenders to do.
I don't know, dude. If they ban that, the next thing's going to be quarterbacks have flags on their hips wearing a red jersey, and you got to pull their flag. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's football. Like, hip drop tackle is, it can be dirty, but not always. Sometimes it's just bang, bang. You're trying to make a play. You're trying to get him down, hold him short of a first down. Like,
well, if that happens, Lamar might win a couple more MVPs.
He definitely would win more MVPs. You'd have to have a mobile quarterback if they go to flags.
That would be unfair.
Wow.
Who was the fantasy tight end from week 7 on?
The what?
Is this?
Who's the fantasy tight end?
Oh, it's a trivia question.
Yeah, but he didn't give me the answer, so I'm gonna have to.
So who was the number 1 fantasy tight end from week 7 on? It's Sam Laporta. I guarantee you it's Laporta, and that's because he had such a crazy back half. He finished as the tight end 1, so I'm gonna guess it's Sam Laporta.
It has to
we
be
watched
Laporta.
him have.
He didn't give me the answer, and I'm not gonna go try to research by looking at all the tight ends.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm trying to think who else could he who would maybe Njoku, maybe.
Maybe Evan Ingram, but he wasn't scoring.
So I'm just gonna say Laporta basic, or I could just look it up. Who?
As an Evan Ingram holder, it was not Ingram.
Ingram was hot. Like, he got a lot of volume. He had 100 catches this year, but not a lot of
He had a
touchdowns.
couple good games where he
I think he had,
posted
like,
over
2,
30
right?
fantasy points.
Yeah.
But other than that,
I mean, it's not likely. Likely balled. Maybe the last 4 weeks could have been
No, it
likely.
was definitely
It
not.
was not like
But likely didn't come in until like week 12.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Sam Laporta. I guess Jared comment on the Instagram or something on this graphic with the answer so we know. Just because that doesn't help us. But thank you for submitting. Thank you for
Might
submitting
be
the question.
next time, Jared.
Yeah.
It kind of defeats the purpose of asking the trivia question.
Hey, like I don't normally like to say like no question is a stupid question, but like that was stupid, dude.
I don't know what he was thinking.
Oh my god.
Bills plus 950, and then he sent a couple emojis of the eyes.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely interesting. If you really believe it, bet it now because obviously if they win, then they're gonna get the 2 seed, so the odds are gonna change. Right now, it's kind of in that middle ground.
Who would have thought back in like week 8 the Bills would get the number 2 seed potentially?
Crazy.
No one thought that. People were counting them out.
No.
And Diggs hasn't even been a big part of it, man.
He hasn't done.
It's
like,
James
much.
Cook.
Yeah, so I think it's great value there. So if you truly think they're going to make the playoffs, take it now. Otherwise, don't take it at all. Because I think I would say they'll go to like plus 700 or plus 650 because they're one of the hottest teams right now in the NFL.
If they go into Miami and just beat the brakes off them, like
they're going to be like
that's going to
I'm
drop.
talking about plus 1800.
Yeah, so outside of like the Ravens and the Niners, like they'll probably have the 3rd best odds to win the Super Bowl.
I think they're 5th right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they win, so because if they lose, odds are they're probably not going to make the playoffs.
Do you think they'll have better odds than Dallas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they win, they're the 2 seed.
Yeah.
And
Isn't
if
that
they
the
lose,
craziest scenario though, like they could either get the 6, the 2, or just not make it at all. Like the 2
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Dallas is
not
going to
even
be the
making
2 in the
it.
NFC.
yeah, but like I feel like I don't know. I just think
I think
they'll give
Vegas trusts Buffalo more.
Yeah, I think
and
they'll.
especially Dak Prescott less.
Yeah, I think they'll
Yeah, but
give.
they'll also get a lot more tickets on Dallas.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, no, but if they give them better odds, that's where the
Yeah.
that's where the tickets are going to come in because you see a higher number.
All right, what do we got next?
Loser needs to go to a very Philly bar wearing whatever team the Eagles are playing's jersey.
Going to Xfinity Live.
That is a really good punishment.
That's great.
Brutal.
That's one of the best
Brutal.
punishments that we've gotten.
So that
recently.
would,
Drock should do that
A
one.
brutal punishment.
Yeah,
Drock's in
should do
Philly
that.
often. Drock should do that.
This week would be perfect. Matt with the Giants.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
No, but that's not a punishment
No,
for you.
but playoffs would be a whole nother level.
Think about that. That's not really a punishment for you to wear a Giants jersey.
Still, though, you getting chirped. Like, I wouldn't even wear my Giants jersey out if it was just not a punishment.
Yeah, but at least you like can back it up versus like having to act. Because then they'd like call you out and shit. Like if you go in, like say you walked in with a Bucks jersey and then they're like calling you out and like trying to
Yeah.
give you facts and you're just like, yeah.
I don't
Anchor.
think Philly people are coming in with the facts. They're kind of
No, but they'll just be like, Jordan Davis is going to eat your offensive line for breakfast. And you're like, yeah, I don't really know anyone on my offensive line, so.
Can you name one?
No.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I think that would be worse. But it definitely that's definitely a good punishment, and we could try to figure something out with that.
It's a good one. Just would require us having to go to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I hate that fucking city.
Yes, sir. All right.
Wow.
Next, we got Kenny, the Pop-Tart mascot. That's his
What?
name that he put in.
Kenny the Pop-Tart mascot.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that.
You would bring up Pop-Tarts, Kenny.
Pop-Tart mascot. Let's go, Kenny.
Do you think the Browns have a legit chance of reaching the Super Bowl this season?
Well, that clearly says you haven't
Yeah,
been
he
watching the
wasn't-
podcast, so thanks, Pop.
Tell us you don't listen without telling us you don't listen.
Yeah.
Reagan's been beating this drum for the past 3 weeks.
I know Caleb bought in on it too. He's all locked in with me, but yeah, I think they can make the Super Bowl. I have a lot of confidence in this team right now. Like, I'd say outside of the Ravens, like you could say they're the best team in the AFC right now. I mean, the Bills too, but those are the 3 best teams in my books right now. Browns have been on fire. Their defense is elite, and yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Flacco, so I have a lot of confidence in it. And I think the odds are good. So, I mean, if you're looking for value, that's the team I'd take.
Yeah, a couple more things to add to your point. Joe Flacco's found the fountain of youth, and he is
Apparently,
slanging
yes.
that thing.
Hey,
Second, if they do get to the championship game and potentially meet up with Baltimore, they'd have an advantage over Baltimore more so than any other team in the field, considering they play twice a year.
Yeah, and beat them
every game in the AFC North is
it's close.
Super
It's a close game. It's a fist
toss
fight in the
up.
alley. You know what I mean? And that gives them a good chance, more so than a team like Miami. I think Cleveland has a better shot of beating Baltimore than Miami, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that also works in your favor.
There's your answer, Ken.
All right, next we got, why did Drock win his fantasy league?
Because Drock doesn't know ball. Next question.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you even had to ask that question is
Brock
crazy.
doesn't know ball. He'll admit it.
Drock, how many leagues were you in this year?
4. I didn't make a single playoff.
That's too good.
Hey,
I
but
was
he
the
hit
7th seed in 3 of them. That's brutal.
enough Drox locks to cover your
I
entry
actually
fees.
what's up?
You hit enough Drox locks to cover that entry fee.
Yeah. You're more so a better than you are
A fantasy.
a fantasy
He's
man.
a gambling asset.
Yeah. This guy's a lethal weapon in the sports books, but
Hey,
fantasy
he's slick.
football, not your thing.
Hey, Drox slick. He ripped me off in one league. Remember when we did our draft at the beginning of the year? We were doing the startup draft, and he was supposed to give me a 2023 pick, but Drock the snake over there gave me a 2024 pick.
Oh.
And
You sent it to me.
the best part
you
of
sent the trade to me.
No, you sent it to me, and you're
Nah,
like,
we'll go
accept
back.
it. My dumbass trusting Drock over there. You should now never trust Drock. Accept it, and he's like, ha ha ha! I ripped you off. He makes the playoffs last year, misses this year, so I end up getting the better pick anyway. So thank you, Mr. Drock.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, it is. This is why we play. This is why we play.
Will Jalen Hyatt score on Sunday against the Eagles at plus 650?
Jeez, man. We've been saying it all year. This is the game. This is the game. It's been 16. He hasn't scored. I will say, he did look really good on Sunday with Tyrod because Tyrod was slanging that thing, especially in the deep balls. And they had the one
They
call
announced
back.
who's starting yet?
Yeah.
Tyrod.
They did,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Because Tyrod, I mean,
Ball.
we'll talk about that game, but Tyrod does push the ball downfield a lot. So, against this Philly secondary, can Hyatt burn him? I don't hate it. At plus 650, it's worth a sprinkle in my book. You can't go touchdownless his rookie year.
Yeah, man, I don't know. At plus 650, that's just a dart throw. I don't think stats matter here. It's just you're a Giants fan. Sprinkle a little bit on it.
Yeah.
Like-
And have a good time watching the game.
Like, yeah, I'll say if it's plus 650, like, yeah, here's a hot take. There's a better chance he doesn't score than he does score. So I just sprinkle a little bit and enjoy your last Giants game of the year. If you're watching it, which I'd be watching Red Zone at this point. But
Big fan.
Saquon Barkley
Big
is
fan.
84 yards away from his fourth 1,000-yard rushing season.
I was going to say, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no.
100
How many
yards?
yards? 84?
84.
84.
Take it.
I take it.
I would easily take it.
All right, that wasn't the question, though.
There you go,
Who's
Kenny.
the-
Take
well,
it.
I mean, we could add that, but who is the last Giants running back to rush over 1,000 yards 4+ times?
Ahmad
Tiki
Bradshaw.
Barber.
Ooh.
Brandon Jacobs.
He also didn't give me the answer. So.
Oh.
I could call him.
I know Otis Anderson did it before.
No,
but
Tiki.
he
I know as a
Tom
fact
Wilson.
Tiki did it. I think Jacobs did it.
Did
I
Ahmad
think-
Bradshaw.
I feel
I
like
don't think
Jacobs
it's
did it.
Bradshaw. I think Jacobs did
I
it.
think Jacobs.
I know
was
as a
the
fact
last
Tiki
one.
did it.
I don't think Bradshaw did.
I don't know.
I don't
You guys
think
are the
Bradshaw
Giants
did either.
fans. You guys should know.
I'm texting him.
Call him. Get him live.
Yeah, call him.
I mean, I can look right on my phone right now. But if it's not one of those two, it's
Jacobs
Tiki.
not
Who's
had
the last
1,000
running back?
before his-
Oh!
Jacobs now.
And neither did
Who's
Bradshaw,
the
so
last
it's
running
Tiki.
back with four?
It's gotta be
It's
Tiki.
gotta be Tiki.
100.
It's got to be Tiki.
1,000 yards. Who was it? Tiki Barber.
It was
Tiki
Tiki
Barber.
Barber.
So you
Kenny,
got right.
next time leave the answer, scumbag.
You're live on the pod.
Hey, PG stream.
He said that's my bad.
You say Pop-Tart. Next time, leave it.
It was Tiki. Let's go. Of course it's Tiki. Tiki was so good, man.
Yeah,
he was so good.
filthy.
Retired too early.
For next preseason, a best bets player and team futures episode. Question mark.
What is he? What is he
He's
saying?
giving out an idea.
Well, like our predictions, like we did this year.
He wants you to do for next preseason a best bets player and team future episode.
We kind of did that.
We
but
basically
could
did
that.
it, but we could do like if you were saying like a strictly just gambling pod, like where we just talk about.
Yeah,
like,
we didn't do that. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
But
We
we
did our-
we
He
basically
wants-
did it and
That's what
highlighted
he's
the
asking.
gambling.
He wants
Yeah.
like what are the best?
So a degenerate
futures.
special.
Well, because we kind of did our bets against each other on
I guess
over-under
we
wins.
also
with
did
the
a
season
fantasy
long.
football draft.
We did a
helper.
fantasy football draft helper. So next year we can do the fantasy football one, and we can do
Yeah.
a betting preview
I
one.
like that.
We also added it in every episode because didn't we like talk about the over and under on their wins?
Yeah, we did.
We did,
but
yeah,
we
from
didn't
that
do like
sense.
like we could do stats like a season
Yeah.
long. Like this guy's passing
Yeah.
yards over. Under.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we could do. Good idea, Kenny. It's a good idea.
Good idea, Kenny.
Good work.
And that's all we got for questions.
All right.
Do you guys have any questions now while we're sitting here?
No.
We
Nobody.
we went over a lot.
All right.
Oh, actually, I've got one for you. What's your strategy gonna be when I shoot you with the paintball gun?
actually
Probably grab Drock and Colin as human meat shields.
Yeah.
Reagan's not the most agile friend I have.
Yeah, so I got to be the most physical friend you have and grab your scrawny ass and put you in front of me.
I'm gonna prefer you shooting with the gun because you're just gonna miss and fucking just unathletic. And
Yeah, I'd say
Oh,
Joe,
I
Joe
mean-
probably is more of a sharpshooter than
Actually-
Reagan.
I put
Oh,
my
yeah.
money on fucking.
Well, actually, that's dumb because he's faster than you, so I'm going to go for the slower target, which is, I think in this scenario, you.
Wait,
Well,
shit,
it doesn't
he's
matter.
faster than me?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, we have to see.
At
we have
this
to,
point?
What do you mean at this point? You call me fat right now?
No, but I mean, you're not like, you're not,
No, you just call me fat.
No, I didn't.
At this point,
You're not, when's the last, how many years?
even with the weight that I
No,
have on,
it's-
I'll
it's-
fucking be faster than these two.
Well, he ran track and.
I did cross country in middle school.
it's also red light, green light. So if you stop when you say red light, you
That's
can't
true.
shoot me. So like speed is not necessarily the
Well,
best asset.
Then again.
But then it's like whoever comes in last probably has to get
And
shot.
also,
Yeah.
like, if I, like, pull
It's
the
not gonna be fun if like I can't shoot anyone.
Yeah, and if I, like, pull the trigger, then it happened.
Yeah.
But,
All right, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we're gonna break down these games.
oh, hey, didn't see you guys there. Don't mind me, I'm just using Worst Manhattan's Store Finder tool to find a location near me. Here I am. Store Finder tool told me, Calathon, and now I'm here. So let's go get a bottle of Worst Manhattans. Let's go, come on. Excuse me, miss, can you show us where the Worst Manhattans is?
It's on the back wall by the mixers.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Oh, Reagan, I found it right here on the back wall.
Wow, all thanks to the Store Finder tool on the Worst Manhattan's website.
The best.
The best. All right, guys, welcome back in. We're going to get right into the Thursday night game from last week. I don't want to talk about it too much. Sorry, I just, just tired of talking about my Jets and not winning games. So. Sorry, I'm not a little more enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, I was way off on this one, man. I thought that the Jets would keep it close and their defense would actually show up, but Joe Flacco had other plans. He threw for 309, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Jerome Ford, 12 for 64.
The wheel.
Yeah,
The wheel
Yep.
smacks again, baby.
Who spun that again? It was Dave? Or no?
That
Or
was Zach.
That was Zach.
The 3-time.
Zach is
No,
the
the
Zach
three-time
is the
champ.
I'm just yanking your chain
three-time
over there, buddy.
wheel spin champ. He's hit it 3 times, which is very impressive. But yeah, fucking Jerome Ford cashed for us. David Njoku at 6 for 134. What a resurgence out of
all in
Njoku.
the first drive, I
Njoku.
think.
Yeah.
like, all in the first drive. And then Elijah Moore had his drive where he went off. And then Jerome Ford had his drives. It was like every single drive, one guy would just go off and be featured the whole time. But a game like this, I backed the Browns on this half because I wanted the Jets to lose, but also half of them beating the drum on why I think the Browns can go super far in the playoffs. What better test than going against one of the best defenses in the league? And I mean, Joe Flacco, once again. And they said he was the first passer of over 300 yards since 2021 against the Jets.
Wow.
So think about that. And we've made some quarterbacks this year look bad. Like,
And they didn't have Amari Cooper.
yeah, this is by far the best performance against the Jets, this solo-led Jets defense.
I'm just pissed that I didn't take Elijah Moore anything. Revenge game. What am I doing? What am I
What are you
thinking?
doing?
Pissed me off.
Well, did you see, speaking of Elijah Moore, we didn't highlight in the notes before, but apparently doctors are advising him to retire because the concussion he got was so bad.
Damn.
I did not see
Yeah,
that.
they're saying he should look into retirement for his long term.
That was
health.
scary. That was scary as hell.
Yeah.
He's a little guy.
Yeah, he is a little guy, but that's what they're saying for his long term health.
I could see him taking a year off or something and coming back. Just the itch,
Yeah.
Play with Kyler Murray. Little guy team.
Super Mario Bros.
Oh, we'll get into Kyler Murray because boy did he have a good week. But all right, let's move on to the next one because honestly,
You don't even want to
Unless
talk about the Jets?
All
I'll
right,
talk about
fine.
Brees Hall. Brees Hall won me a championship this year. I want to talk about him. 13 for 84 and then 9 catches for 42 and a touchdown. He was the leading receiver from a running back this season.
yeah, because now that McCaffrey's not going to play next week, he'll just be able to build more off of that.
Yep, he already has the lead. It's over with no McCaffrey. Congrats to Brees Hall. Thank you for winning me a championship.
Yeah, well, it helps when you have guys like Trevor Siemian that like to check the ball down.
Check down Charlie.
Can't throw the ball past the first down marker, but works for me in fantasy. All right, next. Very controversial game, Reagan. Dallas and Detroit. Dallas sneaks one out, 20-19, to improve to 11-5.
Yeah, I was shocked
Detroit
by
also
that.
11-5.
I was very shocked. by
Wow.
that. I thought Dallas was going to steamroll here. I mean, granted, it doesn't help when CeeDee Lamb decides to stretch and fumble the ball. I mean, that's 7 points they missed out on there. A lot of missed opportunities by this Dallas offense throughout the game because, I mean, if you're putting up that many yards and not turning the ball over, like, probably should have more than 20 points. But honestly, coming down to the wire like that, a lot of missed calls by the refs. And, I mean, apparently the tripping call was actually against Detroit, and they called it against Dallas,
Yep.
which maybe it doesn't even get to that point if they call that correct. And then obviously the lineman Decker reporting, but not reporting when he did report. So
And they wiped the 2 off. And then Dan
Yeah.
Campbell just letting his nuts hang and just going for it again from the
I did
7
not like
and the
that
2.
at all.
I did not like that either.
I just think, like, I get it, and he wants to, like, I do like that he's consistent with, like, putting his balls on the line all the time.
Yeah.
But what I will say is it just kind of says, like, to your defense, like, I don't trust you guys to go get a stop in overtime. Or your offense. Or not, because you saw the offense move the ball right downfield. So it's, to me, it's like your defense is finally playing a game where they look good, and you're like, nah, I don't trust you guys to get a stop.
Yeah, it's interesting, but maybe you didn't trust their secondary against CeeDee Lamb because he had 13 for 227 and a touchdown. Ridiculous. Dak threw for 345, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And for the Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 for 90 and touchdown. The only non-quarterback in the league that scored 20-plus fantasy points in all 3 playoff weeks.
Who? Sam Brown?
Amon-Ra.
Wow. Yeah, man. If it
Helped
wasn't
Big
for
G
guys
get to the
like,
finals, but he came up just short against this guy right here.
If it wasn't for guys like Tyreek and CMC and even CD, I mean, Amon-Ra is having a crazy year. I mean, that was my Offensive Player of the Year pick, and I mean, honestly, he's having a good year. He's just kind of getting overshadowed by a lot of
Mine
other
was
people.
McCaffrey. Is
Yeah,
McCaffrey
so-
going to get it or Tyreek? Because I could go 2 for 2 on the offensive side there.
I'd say the only thing that could hurt you is the fact that Hill is playing this week, McCaffrey is not, so
But it looks like Hill's not going to break the record.
he might not. No, probably not.
I don't
But
think he
still,
will. Now, Reagan, I want to bring this up to you because I've been talking about it with some friends. And I'm a part of this, that I think CeeDee Lamb is the 3rd best wide receiver in football behind Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson. He's number 3 in my book. You disagree? You want to go Jamar Chase?
I just think it's funny because we talked about this like early on in a podcast, and you're like, all right, I think the 3 best right now are Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and A.J. Brown. And it's funny how just like 6-7 weeks how it
How it
can
just
change.
switches, yes. Because A.J.
And-
Brown was up there. The streak he was on, but
And
he's
we were,
cooled down. That
Jamar
whole
Chase
Eagles
was
team
in the
is cooled
debate.
down.
You know, there's a lot of guys you could still debate.
CeeDee's got
Cooper
1,600.
Kupp's obviously not healthy. No, I know. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's debatable. You can.
There's so many good
'Cause
ones.
at
Yeah.
the end of the day, Jefferson's not having a great season, but he dealt with injuries. This is like the first big year CeeDee's had, so it's definitely debatable.
no,
Definitely
CeeDee
debatable.
had a really good year last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying like putting him in a next tier. Like he had a good year last year, but last year were you saying like you weren't even?
He was like wide receiver 6 in fantasy last year.
But you
though.
weren't considering him top 3 last year.
No.
Like
no,
I'm saying,
not top
he wasn't in the question. Now he is after one like insane season. Like, why is Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill in that conversation? Because they've done it before. So now that he's done it, you can put him in the conversation. Is all I'm saying.
Yes. Yes.
So it's definitely interesting.
Would you put him at 3?
I don't know. I like right now, yes, but my opinions change. So it's so like recent. I'm so like
It is
biased
recency
at
bias.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get
it's
so
recency
biased
bias.
at times. So like right now, I don't know, man. I still don't think I would. Honestly, I still feel like I would put Jamar Chase or like Cooper Kupp when healthy. Like Cooper Kupp,
I can't go Cup right now. I can't go Cup.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so
can't-
many
I
guys.
can't
Like
go
Devontae Adams, like Like,
See, that's the thing. Like, a lot of guys in the league would say Devontae Adams is up there, even
And
though the
after
stats
what he
won't
just
show
did
it,
last week,
'cause
it's
the
just like he
quarterbacks-
reminds you,
yeah.
like, oh yeah, this guy's playing with Aiden O'Connell, not Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's hard to put CD in there just yet, but I definitely think there's an argument for it.
I actually hope these teams meet up in the playoffs really bad. I think
I
if they
don't
got a
think it'll
rematch,
happen,
if they
but-
got a rematch, it'd be really cool.
I don't think it'll happen because the Lions are getting bounced in the first round, but it would be interesting.
All right, next. The Bills barely survive against the Patriots 27-21. Josh Allen only threw for $169 at a 50% completion percentage. Not good, and he had a pick. But the defense did enough to survive. James Cook 16 for 48, Kincaid 4 for 87. Really not a good showing from the Bills here against
No.
that Pats defense.
Yeah, I mean, I chalk a lot up to it as a division game, and like the Patriots, they're going to be fired up for the division games. I don't know. I'm not too worried with Buffalo.
Are you worried about Stephon Diggs? He had 4 for 26. He's been ice cold the past month and a half.
No, I'm not. I'm really not, dude. I just think it's all game flow right now. Like they don't need him. Like they're winning these games.
They're winning. Yes,
So
they're
it's
still
kinda
winning.
Like if they were losing, like yeah, I'd be worried. But they're winning, so it's hard to complain when you're winning.
But at the same time, do you think they could reach the Super Bowl or potentially win it without Stephon Diggs being a major factor? Because I don't think so.
I don't know. It depends. If they're still relying on James Cook and they want to give him the rock and he goes for over 100 yards, yeah, they can win it by running the ball. But I don't know. You would think against a lot of these teams that have a lot of firepower offensively, they need to get Diggs going.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Josh Allen has been a goal line monster. 2 more touchdowns in this game. Inside the red zone, he's almost a lock to run it in. Luckily for the Bills in this one, Bailey Zappi threw 3 picks. Some of them were really bad.
I know.
Really
Well,
bad.
This team will have a new quarterback under center next year, let's be honest.
I'm not even going to talk about the rest of the offensive stats for the Pats because it's
Hey,
just
Zeke
ugly
got in the end zone.
across
Zeke got in the end
board.
zone.
He punched one in, you know.
I'd say that was a pretty good call by me to say he'd be a good player on your rosters come playoff time.
Absolutely. When we did talk about league winners.
Because he's had, I think, 3 out of the 4 games he played, he had over, I think, 15 points. So
That's solid. And when
It's not a bad pickup.
Actually, if you want to circle back to that, because you said Zeke could be a league winner, and he did help you win a league.
he did.
The guy that I said, Isaiah Likely, won me my league. Because
Yeah.
he only had 2 catches, but he had 2 touchdowns.
I know. Oh, yes.
We did hit on that. We did hit on that.
We'll talk about that likely more when we get to the game, but
Yep.
there's some stuff I want to highlight with that, too.
Next, the Bears demolished the Falcons, officially clinching the under 8.5, and I lost.
Oh, I think you were talking about your bear. Yeah.
For the Falcons.
Sorry.
That's the weight gain smoothie, right?
Yeah, well, I think that's the last time we have faith in an NFC South team.
You know, I'm
'Cause
trying to
both of
lose
us-
weight, not trying to gain
It's
weight.
funny. Both of us were wrong, and both teams are like going to probably get 1 win under it.
Yeah. Because I mean,
Actually, no, that's not even possible because they're playing each other.
they're playing each other.
Because they're
Yeah.
playing each other. But honestly, I think it's safe to say both of us don't want to see these teams in the playoffs now. Because
No, they're ugly, man.
There would be not even that. There'd be nothing more annoying than seeing one of these teams get in and then somehow go on a little run, and you're like, "See, this is what I was talking about." But it
They
doesn't
finally
matter.
give the ball to Bijan. God.
But it
damn.
doesn't matter because they still went under. So screw this team.
Yeah, for those Falcons, oh man. Taylor Heineke, 10 of 29 for 163, a touchdown, and 3 INTs.
Well, dude, that just
That
speaks.
Bears defense, man.
I don't know, man. I still did you hear? Like, we were going back about Justin Fields, but all the people were chanting Justin Fields. They want him. The fans, I've seen most of the comments I've been seeing on social media. Bears fans want Justin Fields. They do not want Caleb Williams.
They do want Fields.
And it makes sense because he's doing enough. The defense is playing well. This is a team that can be a playoff team. I think if they didn't if Fields doesn't go down, I think this might be a playoff team.
It's crazy to say.
Just think about it. I think they went 1-3 with Badgett, or maybe it was 1-2. Because I know he got the one big win over the Raiders, but outside of that, they lost all the other games with him.
Yeah, they really flipped the switch when they got Sweat, man. That defense, legit. In this one, Justin Fields, 268 and a touchdown, added 45 and a touchdown on the ground, and DJ Moore, 9 for 159 and a touchdown. DJ Moore knows who he wants at quarterback. DJ Moore, 1,300 yards this season, man.
Yeah, he's having a great year. Probably, I would definitely say probably his best year fantasy-wise.
Great year.
You would think, right?
Bears sit at 7-9. Drock and I did a handshake bet on Bears over under 7.5. I have the under. He has the over.
What's the punishment?
Just $100.
Oh.
Big game in Green Bay this weekend, Drock.
Yeah, it's a huge game.
You guys going?
I think, are we going? Yeah, I'm going to Green Bay. I think Packers open up at -3, so You have the edge right here.
Yeah, but I don't trust the Packers at all.
And also, you got to think the Bears want to play spoiler because they already got the first pick locked
And
up.
I'm pretty sure, I don't even know what the statistic is, but the Bears just can't beat fucking Packers. So.
It would definitely be interesting if the Bears win that game and then it all comes down to they would have made the playoffs if the Giants didn't miss that kick. Because with the Giants missing that kick, that eliminated them. Because if the Giants make that kick, then the Bears have something to play for also going into this because they wouldn't be eliminated.
It's a good point, Reagan. It's a good point.
But also, then you would say the Rams wouldn't be benching all their guys; they'd be playing too. So
yeah. Next, the Colts beat the Raiders 23-20. They're now 9-7, and they set up a huge matchup this week against Houston.
yeah, I know who I'm backing, but we'll get into that tomorrow. But
Well, tomorrow. Don't jump the
tomorrow,
gun.
I'm
my
excited.
friends.
I'm excited. Come on, playoff
Raiders
football.
fall to 7-9. In this one, Minshew 224 and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor 96 and a touchdown. Pretty scattered receiving wise. For the Raiders, it was all Devontae Adams, 13 for 126 and 2 touchdowns, including that jump ball from the 1 yard line at the end of the game.
I was very
That was-
happy seeing
woo!
Adams do that.
Me too, because he also won me my league this week. Reagan, do you think this loss hurts Antonio Pierce's chances of getting that head coaching job? Because there was rumors coming out today that he might not be getting the job.
Wow, shocker. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not surprised with what if he doesn't get the job after Versace got them into the playoffs and didn't get the job. So I'm not going to be shocked if he doesn't get the job. Like, would that really surprise you if Versace didn't get it after taking over a team? Because your coach was so bad that you had to fire him, and then you turned it around and got him in the playoffs, and then you're rewarded with no job. So, yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me at all. No.
I hope he gets it, but if
He
not,
won't. Unfortunately, I don't think he will.
He can come back and coach the Giants and defensive side of the ball. I wouldn't hate that at all.
Yeah, or maybe somebody else will hire him. And they'll, you know what I mean?
Potentially.
But
Maybe
I
he'll get
don't
a DC job. I don't know.
It's interesting, yeah.
Next, my Giants fall just short in the most classic Giants fashion. 26
It's a
to
good
25. The
game.
Rams are 9-7. Giants 5-11. Yuck. Matt Stafford 317, a touchdown, 2 picks, both to Dane Belton. Kyron Williams had 3 touchdowns, 87 yards.
Yeah.
Puka 5 for 118, cashing Reagan's leg.
Oh, yeah.
And Cooper Kupp scored in this one.
Yeah, Puka cashed it all on one play, I believe. What was his long?
His
What is
long-
long?
Like a 70.
80.
Yep, so cashed it all
Cashed
on one play.
Yep, but
one
he got
play.
hawked. He got hawked.
I mean, hey, it's fine. Cashed it all on one play. I mean, at that point, he was already at like 50-something, but still, it was nice to be like, oh, wow, that just cashed on one play.
Yeah.
It's usually...
so good.
Yeah,
For the Giants in this one, man, I mean, you know, the missed extra point by Crosby, you know,
Missed
then
field goal by Crosby.
Missed field goal by Crosby, going for 2, and Tyrod having Saquon just wide open and just throws it behind them. I don't understand
Honestly,
that.
you got to be happy as a Giants fan,
Great
though.
tank game.
Yeah, you got to be happy, dude.
It was a fun game, and we fell just short, but that's
the
what
best
the
thing
Giants
is-
do.
And
Your
that just
team
helps
plays-
us out in the future.
Your team plays close and you lose.
Yeah.
That's the best thing.
That's
I
what
still
you
don't think Tyrod playing is the best thing. I think it's DeVito, but it doesn't
Tyrod's
matter.
definitely better than
No, he's
DeVito.
better.
Yeah.
He's better, but there's no point. Like, he's not on the team next year. We already know this.
I know.
So it from
He
that
made some
perspective,
throws.
but I've been beating the drum about playing DeVito over him anyway. What I will say is Kyron Williams is going to be a top 5 fantasy pick next year.
You think top 5?
Dude, do you not
might be.
realize
He might.
how good he was for fantasy this year? Outside of McCaffrey, he ended on average as an RB2 this year.
I know.
Think about it.
I think Brees gets picked over him next week.
Although there's a chance with that too, Brees.
Brees could.
But Kyron,
McCaffrey, Jettas, Tyreek,
Yeah.
CD.
CD.
It's a loaded top 10.
it also
Chase.
depends if it's
It's
full or
loaded
half.
Chase. Yeah.
But still, he's in that
I
conversation.
might go Kyron over Chase. I like taking the running back. So
Yeah.
I know he's gonna get the
And
ball.
he's going to get the volume, dude. He's only 23. He's only 23. I don't know.
It's interesting, Reagan.
That's what I'm saying, though. He's definitely a first rounder for sure, though.
If we're highlighting young players, you know, keep your eye on Wan'Dale Robinson. He's really turned it on the past few weeks for the Giants. He did have
The only thing is,
6 for 55 and had a 24-yard touchdown run. They're using him like they're supposed to use Kadarius Toney. It's a fact.
yeah,
They
no,
are.
It is.
And
it is.
I'm upset that Jalen Hyatt deep ball got called back. The Giants got called for so many holding penalties. Please just redo the entire offensive line outside of Andrew Thomas. I'd be really happy as a fan. But one more game. We're through this brutal season, Reagan.
All right.
Next, the Philadelphia Frauds drop one of the Cardinals, 35-31, dude.
Yeah, what
what
a
the
game.
hell happened here? Drock and
Their
I were
defense
in
is what
Philly for
happened.
this one. We're like, wow. Like we were seeing people in the streets.
they
They were
burning the
not
streets?
happy.
Were
They were
they
not
rioting?
happy.
No, they were super upset in the grocery stores. They were actually like really upset.
What were you guys saying? Are you
so
chirping him
funny.
or now?
What am I going to say?
they won.
Oh, nice.
You guys suck!
At least we beat the Cardinals.
Yeah, that is true. Cardinals beat the Cowboys and Eagles.
Yeah, they have
So-
4 wins. They beat the Cowboys
And
and,
who
the
else?
Eagles.
They beat one other big team.
Any given Sunday.
They beat one other big team. I'm trying to think.
I can't recall. I can't remember all 17 weeks.
Yeah,
It's a lot of football.
It's not a lot of wins to remember, is my point.
But in this one, Kyler Murray, 232, 3 touchdowns and a pick. And their coach, Gannon, came out after the game saying, there's no doubt in my mind Kyler Murray is the QB1 of this franchise.
So that means there's no doubt in his mind that Marvin Harrison is a wide receiver for the Cardinals next year.
Marv, you are an Arizona Cardinal.
At this
Or
point,
they
yeah.
trade the pick.
They beat the Texans and the Steelers.
Texans, Steelers, yeah. So they
and
beat.
the Falcons.
Now they have 4
They-
wins, so.
Oh wait, never mind. The Texans beat them.
Okay, so they beat. So they beat
The
three
Falcons and the Steelers.
of their wins. Okay, so the Steelers was the other good. I mean, they're okay. They're still 9-7,
A
but
solid win.
But I mean, that's funny that like there's teams like the Dolphins that they have more wins over teams above 500 than I think the Cowboys and the Dolphins. The Cowboys have 2, and the Dolphins have 1, and the Cardinals have 3, but only 4 wins. So it's
Wow.
funny how that works out.
The NFL. Gotta love it.
Yeah,
Now, James Conner had that touchdown catch, the one-handed. That was clean as hell.
nice snag.
And then he also had the game winner on top of 128 rushing yards, Reagan.
Yeah, he goes off in the fantasy playoffs. Me and Zach were talking about it, and Zach was like, "I don't
Zach
have
loves James Conner.
I don't have the numbers, but like he turns it on at the end of the year every year, or at least with his tenure with the Cardinals, he turns it on."
Playoff Connor, baby. Playoff Connor.
Playoff
Oh
Conner.
yeah,
For the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, 167, 3 touchdowns and a pick. 2 of those touchdowns were to Julio Jones.
Yeah,
His
who had-
only 2 receptions.
who had that on their bingo card?
Not me, because I took A.J. Brown to score, and he only had 4 for 53. That was it. Goddard had 5 for 47, a touchdown.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, 3 for 30. This offense is not...
Also got injured, but it sounds like he'll be good to go for the playoffs.
He wasn't a boot, yeah, but hopefully he's good
It's
to go for the playoffs.
definitely not as bad as what they initially feared.
Now they got to get A.J. Brown going, man. He's cooled off, but like when
Gotta.
they were humming, A.J. Brown was humming.
Yeah, well, that and also they need to figure out their defense because allowing 35 to the Cardinals
This defense is terrible.
not.
I
is
think-
not winning football.
I think it is a guarantee that they fire their defensive coordinator after the season. I think it's a
yeah, I
guarantee.
mean, unless he turns it on in the playoffs and all of a sudden they can play defense. But yeah, I think that's the only way.
But they've been
doesn't
barely
seem
winning
likely.
games all season.
Yeah,
bad
because
teams.
they have to put up 30 plus to win at this point because their defense just can't play defense. I mean, I look at them the same way I look at the Lions, where they're going to get bounced because they can't play defense.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but they just do not match up well with San Francisco. Like, not at all.
No,
Not even the slightest. I think San Francisco would beat their brakes off if they matched up. But it looks like Philly might be on the road to start the playoffs.
yeah, either playing the Bucks, Saints, or maybe Atlanta. Unlikely on Atlanta, but
The Bucks Saints. Now you mentioned the Bucks Saints, Reagan.
oh, you want to do one more?
We'll do one more. The Saints beat the Bucks 23-13. They improved to 8-8. The Bucks were also 8-8.
I'm glad I went back and forth and landed on the Saints, man.
Oh, you did make the switch.
I did, yeah, because remember I said Saints,
Yeah,
then I
switch.
went Bucks, and then I went back to Saints. You're like, now I feel confident that you're on the Saints.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm only going Saints because everyone and their mother was on the Bucks, which was true, because everything said the Bucks should win that game. We were all saying, Bucks are hot. They just destroyed the Jaguars. Baker Mayfield's looked great all year, and you know what happens? Baker Mayfield does not look good, and the Saints roll here.
Yeah, I mean, they got up to a 20-0 lead.
Who would've
Crazy enough. Derek Carr, 197 for 2 touchdowns. Very efficient. While doing that, Jawan Johnson, 8 for 90 and a touchdown. Other than that, man, they kind of just... It was a big team effort. A lot of guys contributed on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Taysom Hill with a nice snag, too.
Taysom Hill, yeah, dude. 2 for
Mr.
30
Do-it-all.
and a touchdown. Mr. Do-It-All. For the Bucks, Baker threw for 309, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Rashad White struggled on the ground.
Yeah, this
Evans,
is like his
3 for
first
70.
dud game in a while. He had been on fire, so there's probably a lot of people that lost their championships because you got there because of him, and then he shit the bed.
Yeah. Chris Godwin, 3 for 81, a touchdown. And the rookie Trey Palmer, 4 for 84 and a touchdown. Could Trey Palmer be someone you want to stash in Dynasty going
Definitely,
forward?
definitely.
Given the age of Evans, potentially Evans not coming back to the Bucks after this year.
Dude, one
Hey guys, what's up? It's Caleb from Around the Felt. As you can see, I'm not wearing my Around the Felt sweatshirt today. It's because we had a little back order issue, manufacturing issue, but those will be back up for sale soon on AroundTheFeltSports.com, so make sure you stay tuned.
All right, welcome back in, everyone. Let's get right back into the games. The Niners take care of business against the Commanders like we both expected, 27-10. Purdy, 232 touchdowns. Elijah Mitchell, 17 for 80 and a touchdown after McCaffrey left with the calf injury. McCaffrey with the calf. McCaffrey had 14 for 64 before leaving the game. I know he got down at the 1-yard line and he came out of the game, and then Mitchell got the touchdown. I know a couple people that had McCaffrey in the finals and were a little upset about that.
Sorry, I'm not trying to laugh. It's just that chicken noise Zach made before we started filming has really got me laughing over here. I just keep thinking.
Again, Zach?
Yeah, can you do Zach just one more time to get me through the podcast?
The fuck was that?
What do you mean? That was the chicken cutlet. Yeah. That was the Tommy cutlet.
The Tommy
Before we were
cutlets.
rolling, Colin's complaining about how he wants a chicken
Oh,
cutlet.
I'm so hungry, dude.
He's so hungry, and you got Zach over here going,
Brandon Ayuk, 7 for 114, a touchdown. Debo, 5 for 37, and a touchdown. Cashing my leg of the parlay. You doubted me.
I didn't doubt him. I was doubting him. In fairness, I said, hey, I'm tired of your anytime touchdown scores. We've had a bunch of parlays that have been busted because of that. And you're like, hey, you don't tell me what to take. Some nice choice words. And, yeah, but you backed it up. It hit, so I was rooting for it. And I'm
Thank
happy
you,
it
Debo.
hit.
Thank you.
It's always nice. I'll take being wrong on plays like that. So
Thanks, Reagan. Sam Howell, 17 of 28 for 169, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Commanders already announced he will start Week 18.
yeah, it does.
Will it be his last start for the Commanders?
It won't be his last start, no. But will he be the starting quarterback next year? Probably not. But will he?
Probably not.
I think that's not his last time starting a game for the Commanders because I think he'll be there as a backup
For 2
And
years, probably. He's very cheap.
That's what I'm saying. So I think he'll still stick around. So you never know, like when you'll need a spot start. But definitely, I do not think he's going to be. They're drafting a quarterback.
They have to.
Especially when they have the 2 pick now. Caleb Williams, you are a Commander.
You think?
Yeah, I think they're going to trade
I
up.
think so too.
To 1.
Yeah, think about it. New
We're at,
regime.
like, what, 2 right now?
Yeah, I think they'll trade up to get to 1.
Wow. I
Yeah.
don't want to see Caleb Williams in our division, but that's
I
fine.
do.
Offensively,
I would like to see him in the NFC.
I mean, I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin, 4 for 61 and a touchdown. He did say after the game one day he wants the Commanders to have an organization like the Niners. Not a good thing to hear coming out of one of your team leaders.
Yeah.
After a loss.
I mean, if
but
that was my team, I'd be like, dude, shut up. Like that's just so dumb.
Commanders
to say.
are brutal, man. Now, one thing, this is definitely Ron Rivera's last game coaching the Commanders, right?
Are we sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Source?
I'm pretty sure.
He's definitely done.
Just source, common sense, common football knowledge. This
Devil's
guy's gotta
advocate. Riverboat Ron.
Just because he has the nickname Riverboat Ron, he's had a job in his league for way too long.
To play devil's advocate, he went 15-1 like 8 years ago.
He did coach an MVP.
Has an MVP
8 years ago.
He did go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl coached, not one, but coached in a Super Bowl.
8 years ago.
Yeah. Just if we're playing a little devil's
1
advocate.
year
here.
wonder. 1 year wonder.
Let's speak about his old team though. Why don't we?
The Carolina Panthers get shut out by the Jags. Yuck.
Yuck.
Bryce Young threw for 112 yards and a pick. Chuba Hubbard got shut down 11 for 45. Receiving-wise, nothing to write home about. C.J. Beathard, 178. No touchdowns, no picks. The Travis Etienne show, 16 for 102. 2 touchdowns in this one. Evan Ingram, 6 catches for 60. He now has 100 receptions on the season. Shout out Evan Ingram.
Shout out.
Reagan, are you still calling these Jags frauds?
Oh, 100%, dude. They got it done against the Panthers. I mean, let's not act like they just beat some team, dude. The worst team in the league. The worst team in the league. All right, cool. Like, I don't care. Like, if they beat them, good for them. Like, they are obviously frauds. They're not even a lock for the playoffs. So,
No, they're not.
once they miss the playoffs, then, yeah, I'll really be calling them frauds. Because you know Vrabel's boys are going to go out and beat them. I'll tell you right now. That's my upset pick of the week. Titans are going to beat them. Titans are going to beat
Well,
them.
Vrabel was pissed
As
in
I'm
that
saying,
press conference.
you know he's gonna
Said,
be
You
hyped.
like fucking losing? I don't like fucking
Yeah, you
losing.
know he's going to have the boys hyped up. Who doesn't want to play spoiler against their division rivals? So, yeah, Jaguars will not be in the playoffs thanks to Mike Vrabel.
Wow.
Yep.
That would be a fall from grace starting the season 8-3 and missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the
get ready.
Trevor Lawrence injury does not help, although he
Nope.
did return to practice today on a limited basis. He knows
Oh, no, he'll play.
He has
He'll
to play. He has to play.
He will play. He will play.
But-
And it won't matter.
Tennessee is not someone you want to
Well,
face
from last year,
this time
last
of year.
Game of the year too. We were watching it with playoff implications.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
All right, Reagan. Let's get to the blowout of the week. The Baltimore Ravens hang a 56
this one pissed me
burger
off.
on the Dolphins.
Why did I back the
56
frauds?
to
Why did I
19.
back the frauds? Why did I back the frauds?
I stuck
don't
with
know
Baltimore.
because you know what? I tried the big brain. It worked with the Saints. Did not work here. Frauds got exposed, and good for Lamar locking up that MVP. What did he throw? 5 touchdowns in
5
this game?
touchdowns,
5
321
touchdowns.
yards. He went
Freaking
18
crazy.
of 21
Yeah, I mean,
for a
super
perfect
accurate.
passer rating. Perfect passer rating, 158.3.
Dude,
Very impressive.
I don't even know what to say about this Dolphins team.
I
But
tell you what, that throw that he made to Zay Flowers down the sideline was disgusting. Rolled out to his left, flipped his hips, and threw a frozen rope across the field to Zay Flowers.
And Isaiah Likely 2 touchdowns too, 42 yards.
Cash and drops leg, 41 and a half, dude. And there was 2 touchdowns. I love Isaiah Likely.
Should have bought it
Should have,
earlier.
yeah. Come on, man. Got to be on the ball.
Gotta be on the
Gotta
ball.
be on the ball.
OBJ had 1 catch, but it was a nice one to set him up at the 1 for Gus the Bus to punch it in.
Yeah.
I mean, really, they did everything. They did anything they wanted. I mean, even fucking Melvin Gordon punched one in.
And I think, were they losing at the end of the first quarter? I believe they were.
It was 10-7. And then
Dolphins or Ravens?
Dolphins.
Yeah, so they were losing. That's crazy. They were losing at the end of the first quarter, and they ended it this bad.
Yeah, I mean, it also didn't help that Tyreek Hill dropped probably the easiest touchdown of his career.
Yeah, but still, like, it wouldn't have mattered in the long run, but yeah.
No, it wouldn't have mattered, but it didn't help.
No.
Tua had 237, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Achane ran for a $107 with Mostert out. Tyreek had 6 for 76 on 12 targets. He's not going to get the record. It's not going to happen.
I know. How many receiving yards did A-Chain have?
Achane had 30 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I figured he'd be involved as a receiver. But
Also, Cedric
I think he
Wilson
would have been
scored.
involved more if it wasn't for Mostert being out. But big game for A-Chain.
Huge game for Achane, bro.
If you have him in
Huge game.
Dynasty, you're definitely thrilled going into next year.
Yeah, I mean, in my other Dynasty League, my buddy Chambers has the oldest team you could possibly imagine. And
Okay,
the
Chambers.
And the 2 rookies he has are Laporta and Achane.
Oh, they were going to say Nakua and A-Chain, but
No.
still very good.
Very good. Very good.
Very good. All right, what do we got next, buddy?
All right, we got the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
No, we do not.
We have to.
We definitely do not have
We have
that.
to
The Seahawks
We have
and the Steelers.
so anyway, we have the Seahawks and the
baby.
Steelers. How about my boy Najee Harris? Finally, man.
My shit is spazzing out right
Where?
now.
Okay, just keep going. You don't have to tell it. I can just keep stalling. So Najee Harris finally getting it done, man. He had over 122 rushing yards.
That touchdown
2
he had,
touchdowns.
too, was a big boy touchdown.
Mhm.
Got stopped at like the 5 and they dragged him in.
How'd you know he had exactly 122?
Because I was looking on 27 carries and 2 touchdowns. How did I know that? Because when you make a take like that, you check it out. Najee's up to 12th in rushing yards on the year, so at least he's making it look more respectable. You think? Let's just play a little bit of who's averaging more yards per carry. Saquon Barkley, Najee Harris.
I don't know who Saquon Barkley is. I know who Saquon Barkley is.
Well,
Reagan went up to Boston for the weekend.
hey, who's averaging more, Barkley or Najee yards per
Saquon
carry?
I'm assuming Najee.
Najee, Tony Pollard, Tony Pollard, Najee Harris.
Barkley.
I'm assuming Najee.
Yeah, so that just tells you, man, he's better than he's better than people were giving him credit for. A lot of people were chirping me for that take, and you know what? With the bad offensive line, Najee's making it happen finally.
Good for you, brother. I'll give you your flowers. Mason Rudolph threw for 274.
Well, I mean, don't give me too much flowers.
Yeah. Top 12 finish. He called leading rusher, but we'll take it.
Hey, I'm just saying it looked a lot worse, and he's finishing it out stronger. Everyone was saying he was trash. He's not trash. It just took an actual competent quarterback coming in for the team to look okay.
I hear you.
And, getting rid of Matt Canada helps.
That does help. George Pickens, 7 for 131. Competent quarterback and get rid of Matt Canada helps him too.
Yeah, Jalen Warren went off too.
Jalen Warren,
Two
13
tutties
for
as well,
75, a touchdown, and
Oh,
through
one.
the air.
One.
Yeah, 1 touchdown. 4 for 23 through the air. For Seattle, Geno threw for 290 and a touchdown. Kenneth Walker, 1053, a touchdown. DK, 5 for 106. Wasn't enough. Speaking of frauds,
No.
I think Seattle's fraudulent. I don't think they're that good.
I
I really don't. They're 8-8.
I
They beat
don't
a lot of bad teams.
really
I don't think they're
know
good.
if you could call them fraudulent, because by calling them fraudulent, that means that they're good, which they're not. So I wouldn't call them frauds because I don't think anyone's considering them a good team right now.
I mean, you are the guy that said that
I
they
did,
were gonna
yes.
win the division.
And I did, and that was in the beginning of the season. But at this point, no. Do I think the Seattle
No, that
team's
was midway. That was midway through the season.
No, it
You
was
said
at the beginning of the season.
You said beginning, and then you doubled down midway when they were 5-3, and San Fran lost a couple.
Okay, well, you know what? Everyone makes crazy takes, all right? I'm sure I could look back at some takes you've had that didn't pan out.
Yeah, you could, but
You know what?
find them.
I don't think I possibly could. You have been so good.
Yeah, I don't think Seattle's good, but we'll move on to Denver and the
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Chargers.
I got one. You said the Browns were not going to make the playoffs once all those injuries happened. And what are the Browns doing? They're making the playoffs.
No, okay.
And they're doing it convincingly. You said that you didn't even think they'd get 7 wins.
You got me. You got me.
Oh, I didn't get you. The Cleveland Browns got you.
You got me.
I did not get you. The Browns got you the same way the Seattle Seahawks, they got me.
That's fair.
All
That's
right.
fair. Touche. All right,
Weird.
the
Say that
Brock.
to camera and say touche.
Touche.
We have, like eye contact going on.
Yeah,
dude,
I don't like it.
side eyeing him over there. Like I don't know.
I'm just
Well,
trying to
I mean,
talk
look-
about Denver,
I'm
LA,
talking-
and
I'm looking
he's
at
not.
you.
So no.
No, I'm giving him a weird look.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also like look where we are. We're like kind of on top of each other. This
Pause.
is better.
Alrighty.
All right. Jarrett Stidham gets it done against the Chargers. Throws for 224 and a touchdown. Jaleel McLaughlin, 8 for 44. Javonte, 15 for 41. It was all scattered receiving-wise, but Jordan Humphrey did get one in.
Yep, Jake Batoff did not believe that was his name, but yes, Jake, it is Little
that
Jordan.
That is what his mother named him. Now, Easton
Same
Stick...
way your mom named you Jake.
Yes, it's the same thing. Jacob, technically.
Yeah, Jacob.
Easton Stick threw for 220. Eckler, 13 for 46. Alex Erickson, 7 for 98. Who had that in their bingo card?
Not me.
Not me either.
Wish I had it on my damn bingo card.
But we don't really have to spend a lot of time in this game,
Yeah, 'cause we
considering
just filled the
Chargers are out.
backups.
Broncos are out as well, so
Yeah.
a lot of backups.
Sorry, Sean Payton.
A lot of backup cues, man. A lot of backup cues.
But are you going to go?
I was waiting for you.
Oh.
There's a stare off.
That's amazing. All right, so next up, what did we get? The big bet of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about this one, Reagan?
Well, yeah, I think the worst part about it is I felt very confident in this game. The Chiefs did just coming up. Butker field goal. I mean, dude had 24 points.
Yeah, that's insane. In the
Yeah.
finals, Harrison Butker got you 24. You're feeling pretty damn good.
Yeah, I ain't going to complain with that, but I am going to complain that I'm doing the big bet solely because a kicker went off, but I digress. But yeah, it did suck because the line was 7, they won by 8, so it would have been nice to do it together.
And it was
Or at
also a
least watch you do it.
17-16 lead for Cincy going to the fourth. So even if the Chiefs score a touchdown, you're feeling pretty good they're going to cover. But the Chiefs
Wait,
got
no.
9 in the fourth.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it was
Are
17.
you serious?
Yes. It
No.
was 17-16 Bengals
They put
going
up
to the fourth.
19 in the fourth?
Put up 9.
You said it was 17-6.
I said 17-16.
Oh. I'm tripping.
You're tripping, bro.
That's what I was going to say. No, that's why I was like, I'm
Casey
like, no
scores
way did they
9
put-
in the fourth to cash the -7. Very close to both of us having to do the day in the life TikTok challenge.
Yeah.
And Reagan, what is that on the year? Is that 10-5?
I don't know, man. I
Is
beat
it
you.
really?
Is that 10-5 of the big bets, or is it 11-5 now?
I'll go 10-5 in the big bets.
I think it'll be 11
I think it's 11-5.
No, it was 9-5, and now it's 10-5. Because we didn't do it every week.
We missed week 1
Yeah.
and then we missed one. So 10-5.
Yeah, 10-5.
Wow.
But
That's a pretty
But-
damn good record. I'm getting
I
up
don't
there
know.
with Drock's locks now.
let's see.
11-5.
Let's
is
see.
Crazy.
Fantasy football belt. 10-5 in the punishments. I don't know.
Being Drock and going 11-5 in the year.
Oh, okay.
10-5.
Well,
11-5.
actually,
Good company.
all right. I will say though, technically, you and Drock just did lose a punishment, so 10-6.
Yeah, but that's different. That's not me against you. Me against you, 10-5.
Okay, fine.
It's all right, sidekick. Maybe you do better next year.
Oh well.
In this one,
Do you mind if I
Mahomes.
do the day in the life of my new belt?
If you want to include the belt, that's all you, man. You just do it. You can rock with it. I'm not gonna restrain you. You rock with it.
Yeah, but
you
you're
run
in
with
my
it.
day every day, so you're gonna be in it at some point.
Yeah, well, it has to be a day that we're also doing the pod.
Okay.
That's a must. Mahomes throws for 245, a touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, the only running back to get a carry in this one for KC, 18 for $130, phenomenal. And Rashee
$130,
Rice,
wow.
man, 5 for 127 for Rashee Rice. With Travis Kelce having 3 for 16, I mean, he just fell the fuck off. Travis Kelce screwed me in every league this year. I'm pissed. I'm trading him. But Rashee Rice, dude, where do you view him amongst the young wide receivers dynasty-wise? Is he top 15 for you?
Oh, I'm thinking like just in his class.
No,
Top
no.
15?
Dynasty.
No.
Dynasty.
No. Not yet. I don't think I could. I'd have to really think about it, but I just don't think I could. Because it's just like, he's proven a lot, but like I'd still take a guy like Marvin Harrison, not even in the league yet, but like I put him over him, you know what I mean? So there's like, you also got to factor in the guys that are coming into the draft too. So no, definitely not top 15.
He needs 62 yards to have 1,000 this year.
Yeah, no, I'm not discrediting him. He's having a great season, but no, he's not top 15 because like CeeDee's still young to me. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Puka,
Smitty, Olave.
Marvin Harrison, Neighbors. Who's the other? The one from FSU.
Keon.
Keon Coleman?
Okay.
I mean, this guy might go for 1,000 his rookie year. It's hard to put a couple rookies over him that
DJ
haven't played
Moore.
a snap yet.
DJ Moore.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's top
DJ
15.
Moore.
I was just posing the question to you because I
One
kind of
more
put him.
problem.
He's probably
I thought you were saying
no. I was just asking you.
Pity City. Yeah.
He's probably that
Pity in the
20
city.
to 25.
Yeah,
range.
no, I mean he's definitely a great asset. Like
Jay Reed.
if you took him, yeah, it's probably still take Reed. Yes, If you took him, you're definitely feeling good. He's a great asset to have, and you probably got him in the second round of your dynasty draft, so it's looking good.
And the fact that he's the number one from Mahomes right now in that
Yeah,
receiving
no, I
core
mean, it
is
definitely makes you excited.
definitely a boost. For the Bengals, Jake Browning's fall from grace through for 197 and a touchdown.
You did have a
Mixon
good game for fantasy,
65. For fantasy?
Yeah, because he had the rushing touchdown.
Oh, he did have a rushing
Yeah, I mean,
touchdown.
he was still
Did
good
have
for
the rushing
fantasy.
touchdown.
Yeah, so he didn't burn you if you started him. I had to start him in the league.
Jamar
And
Chase,
he did
3 for
fine.
41. Tyler Boyd, 2 for 29. T. Higgins, 1 for 19. T. Higgins, wow, right back to where he was all season after 2 big weeks.
Shocker.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame. All right. Houston takes care of business against Tennessee, 26-3, Reagan. Now, that sets up a date with the Colts this weekend in a massive matchup.
Can't wait.
The return of C.J. Stroud, 213 and a touchdown. Singletary, 16 for 80. Nico Collins, 7 for 80. I'm sure Stroud's happy to have him back. Robert Woods, 4 for 58. For the Titans, nothing to write home about. Will Levis left early in the game with a foot injury as I started him in my finals. Thank God I won because he got me negative 1.3 points, and I would have been absolutely pissed if he was the reason I lost. And then Tannehill comes in and gets sacked 5 times and does nothing. Derrick Henry, 12 for 42.
Hey, Houston showed why they're the real Oilers. I was just looking at Caleb's hat. He's got an Oilers hat on, and I'm like, hey, why not?
Why not?
Why not bring it up?
Why not? All right, Reagan. Last game of the week.
Yeah, we were both
Way off.
way off. In fairness, all of our confidence was in Nick Mullins, who they did announce is going to be starting Week 18. So that might be my parlay leg.
You know what sucks is
that boy can slang it.
You know what sucks is we had Jefferson in the leg.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, it was Joe's pick, but we all loved it. Like, we really said this should be a smash play for the Vikings. Then he decided to go Jaron Hall.
in the chat to take this.
Who encouraged you?
Yeah, who
He
did
may
that?
or may not be sitting next to me on my left-hand side.
They
Why don't you
started.
go back to making chicken noises over there?
They decided to start Jaron Hall. He goes 5 of 10 for 67 yards and a pick, and then finally they go to Mullins. He goes 13 of 22 for 113, a touchdown. It
Yeah,
sucked
but he
because
instantly started slanging that thing, and I'm like,
slanging that thing.
maybe Jefferson's got a chance.
And it sucks because Jefferson had 5 for 59 where on 10 targets, where if you go Mullins the full game, I think he gets 75 yards.
I think he gets 100 because Mullen can slang that thing.
slang that thing. But
But, Jaron Hall, he can't slang that thing.
dude, this Green Bay team they either put up a dud or they look really good. Like, for me, they're just so inconsistent, and they're from one end of the spectrum
I
to
hope
the
we
other.
see him in the playoffs. I do like watching the Green Bay team, even though they're all over the map. I do enjoy watching.
Hey, if they
Jordan
get
Love.
in, I said preseason that I thought they're going to win the division, so I was wrong on that. I was wrong on that because I didn't think the Lions would be this good, but I did have them in the playoffs. It's not bad. Not a lot of people had the Packers in the playoffs, Reagan.
Yeah, stroke your cock more.
Yeah, I will. Jordan Love, 24 of 33 for 256, 3 touchdowns. Phenomenal game. Rookie. No, not a rookie, but Bo Melton out of
Rutgers.
Yes.
7th round pick.
Out of Rutgers, 7th round pick, 6 for 105 and a touchdown. God damn. And he was just elevated from the practice squad for that. So now he's signed to the active roster.
And then my boy's boy, Jaden Reed, he went off.
My boy, 6 for 89, 2 touchdowns for Jaden Reed. Love Jaden Reed. If you have him in Dynasty, you must be pumped. I know you do. I know I do.
Gotta be pumped and pumped.
Love Jaden Reed. Did you hit him up and say good game?
No, not yet.
So he's not your boy.
He's busy, you know.
He's an acquaintance.
You just feel like,
After the
hey,
season, we'll
I
get
know you're
contact after
busy.
the
I know
season.
you're busy, but GG's, homie.
Superstitious, you know.
Once they make the playoffs, be like, big dubs, Jay.
You know, he has to go rehab, whatever, you know.
For what?
You
Yeah,
hurt his
like
stomach
something like
or
ribs,
abdomen or
ribs or
something.
Yeah, his ribs.
I need a bruised rib.
Damn.
Get right.
Now, on the ground here, Aaron Jones, 20 for 120, and A.J. Dillon, who I think is ass, 7 for 27. Not an
What
A.J.
gave that
Dillon
away?
fan.
The fact that he was 7 for 27, or just
Just
eye
the
test?
last 5 years of him in the league, but,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Could have been the next Derrick Henry, but not quite.
Big win for the Packers. 8-8. They're alive. They're alive.
They are very much alive. I'm excited. Can't wait to break down the games tomorrow and give our predictions.
Yeah, that
Some of those games are going to be ugly to predict, but we do them all.
You know what, man? With all the backup quarterbacks, when we sitting here trying to talk about like matchups and shit, like, dude, it's a crapshoot this weekend. There's a couple games where everyone's going all in. It's basically a playoff game, and then the rest are a lot of
man,
backups.
I'll take this over no football.
Any day of the week.
Comes March, April, I'll be like, damn, I'd even give for that Week 18 with all the backups.
One more.
Give me another week
in
of
the
Nick
regular
Mullins
season.
slanging that thing. Come on, one more week.
I would love it. I would love it, man.
Unless they make the playoffs and multi-weeks of them.
All right, guys. That concludes our Week 17 recap. Stay tuned for later this week for the Week 18 breakdown.
Peace.
That was a struggle. That was a struggle.
What do you mean? All right.
I'm out.
What? We don't do ad reads anymore?
I did them last week.